I'm running a bit late today. But we're here. It's dry in Canada for CRL Cone round 3. My phone's just done. So let me turn that on silent. Quick time. I'm not gonna lie, boys and girls. I'm finishing off my chicken. So, why have I not got any game audio? There we go. Breaks the awkward silence. Ferrari coming out first, so we'll jump on with them while I am finishing my chicken. But while I do that, I'll try to keep you up with what's going on. We've got Trunders today. We'll be serving a quali ban. The first one of the season, I believe. Actually, no. I think Wild Dog might have had one, or he had a race ban. I'm not too sure. But either way. So we'll be getting on with that. Am I on the wrong Ferrari? I am on the wrong Ferrari. And we need to change the audio as well. There we go. I like the yellow numbers on the front of that car. That is sick. And the yellow. I don't know why they don't keep that yellow Ferrari on the rear wing. That looks awesome. Just reminds me of like the old louder Ferraris and stuff. Pardon me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, boys and girls. This is it's not gonna be a very busy qualifying session, so because I'm just finishing up some things. But when I can, I'll get on with the commentary and trying to keep it A1. Right, okay. I think we're all good now. Just gonna check my mic's all good. It is. I'm gonna turn it down a bit actually because it's almost peaking and I'm not even getting loud yet. So just turn that down a click or two. But yeah, while I was sorting stuff out, Zenon was the first to jump out on track in the newly designed Ferrari. It's going to come across the line now from P13, starting randomly to cross the line with a 1:12.1, which isn't the greatest of laps for Canada, but it's a banker, so plenty of time to improve across the delta throughout his lap. I see who is next to come across the line. Digweed goes at 1:11.3, beating Zenon by nearly a second pretty much, so setting the standard higher for the first lap, and Ashe taking a very cautious turn 1. Ashe Kane, but it's because he has invalidated, so I expect he's going for another run. We got Jay Hartnell coming down the final, well, the last. Yeah, it is the last straight because you call the main straight the first. So coming on the last straight before the dreaded chicane into Wall of Champions. He's going to keep it out of Wall of Champions round here. He definitely is because he's not gone too aggressive on the chicane, making sure he can get around for his first lap. Crosses the line for a P4 1:12.1. We'll sit with Fandango for a minute while he's on his lap. First lap that we're seeing in the middle sector, and he takes a really nice apex there on that chicane, really hugging the curve as much as you can, but you can get invalidated pretty easily throughout it. But he's managed to pretty much nail it, to be honest. Coming down the straight now, don't think anything else has changed. Leon has gone P2 with a 1:11.4. Indian G's, his teammate, has gone 1:11.5 just behind. We've got an Alfa Romeo just starting a lap there, I believe, or maybe finishing it. Fandango comes across to set the fastest of the session so far. Pardon me, I'm a bit unwell today. 1:11.151. 1:11.151 for Fandango. You're probably seeing a name that you're not recognising, that is Zimbaby's a donkey. He's in the Red Bull. He's not a reserve. He's actually Bailey Fox, the man who joined me on commentary last week after making a terrific blunder of strategy, going onto the dries when there was about 6 foot of water on track. He's got banned off his account because he said something not very nice to someone, and he's reaping the price as he's having to be on a second account today. Not the first person to do that in Cone, Mr. Scott Dodds, if he's watching. But anyways, comes across into the chicane, takes a nice apex speed compared to what we've seen so far. Comes up to the line, takes it wide, but only goes P. I say only, it's a good spot. P3 at the moment with a 1:11.3. Just behind by about a fifth of a hundred, there's a fifth of a tenth, sorry, to Digweed. Oh, boys, he's absolute invalidation there for Riordan. Some Ferrari's going slow there. I think there's a few people on in laps and ruin laps, but I think Nacho here, I'm not too sure if he's on a lap. If it is, it's not a very good one. A 1:12.8. That's only going to put in P10 at the moment. Oh, there's a Red Bull spun there. Who is that? Is that? It is Zimbaby. He's on a spin and he's got in the way of 2 drivers, but they're not using the deployment, so not on a hot lap by the looks of it. And he's keeping well out of the way of anyone if they were on a lap, which is good to see. Fandango, is he out on another lap? No, he's not. Just getting ready to. Is he getting ready to go again? I'm not too sure, if I'm honest. So he said, "I tell you what, for the race, this is going to be a really tricky one because, I mean, the walls are so close on this track and there's so many quick chicanes that it's quite easy to just lose the rear or have too much front end and then end up losing the rear because of that. I reckon there'll be some spice in this race. I reckon there'll be some penalties as well because the track limits are not very forgiving around here. Not many places you can extend and get away with it, which is good for us, but it's going to be tricky for the qualifiers and for when they get in the race. Greek Bill on a lap here. I think this is a reservee. Don't think I've commentated over him before, but if I have, apologies. Coming around into sector 2, got a bit of traffic. Wants to keep the narrow line, but he can't really because the McLaren's there. But to be fair, if he was on the left, it'd be a whole lot worse. So not really much he could do about that. Just a little bit unfortunate for Greek Bill. I doubt he lost him any time, or if a little bit. But comes around to the hairpin, takes a late apex, which is ideally what you want to do to carry that bit of speed going on to such a long straight. Got to be careful with what you carry though when you get to the break-in of the last chicane, as it's easy to overstep, and the track limits of it are kind of weird. You can take a lot of the first apex, but the second one you can't really at all. If you cut that by a millimeter, then it's game over. But he goes P4 with that lap, nevertheless. Now Riordan, I think Riordan's gone wide there, and that's an invalidation. Went a bit too deep into the first portion of the chicane, and then for the left-hander could not keep the car on track. Frunder's retiring. Almost came as a shock to me then, but I realised that he is serving his qualifying ban. Pardon me, I'm a bit unwell today after after accumulating too many penalty points, I believe, or blocking someone. I'm not too sure. Victor Mean getting a bit of a swing of the rear there, but he's invalidated this lap. I don't know if it's an out or he's just invalidating the first few corners, which would be unlucky. Ash J coming across now. Now it's obviously not a lap with the time he's set, but I wonder if he is going to carry on. He's got enough battery to do so, I think. No, I don't think he'll be going for a lap on this one. We've got Digweed coming round. He's a 10th down on his time, but there's definitely going to be plenty in the last chicane for many people after taking it cautiously in the first few laps. But he does invalidate on the entry to the chicane, taking a bit too much curve. Zimbaby out on a out lap. Fandango starting. No, this is his. I thought Fandango was about to start. He said out lap, but now he's a bit confused. I think he started it now. I don't know why he didn't say out lap. before he crossed the line. But we'll stick with him and see how he does. Obviously on pole at the moment, he's gapped the grid by about a tenth and a half to P2. So he's holding, oh wow, commentator's curse, Indian Jesus crosses the line with a much better lap of a 1:10.6. So big difference now between P1 and P2. Fandango being on the other end of the stick now. But he's on a lap and we'll see how he does. He's in sector 2. I didn't quite catch, and he's invalidated on the second apex of the middle chicane, and that will be that lap done. So he's going to have to leave it to the last, I think. Digweed not improving by much. Bailey comes across the line and gets a... He doesn't improve, I think. I think he already had a 1:11. Deluxey jumps up. I think last week's winner in Japan takes a 1:11.1. I'll tell you what, while we'll be getting into the limbo in a minute of waiting for people to come for their last 2 laps. So let me see if I can get the standings up for this tier, and we'll have a run through. I don't know if I can see him actually. I don't think I can see him. I don't think I have the. I don't actually have access to him. I thought I would have, but I don't. So we'll have to skip past that now. Right. Not much change at the top 6 at the moment. Leon's been pushed down after not being able to improve his first lap, I don't believe, as he was at a 0.4 for his initial effort. So he's going to be leaving it down to the last lap. You might be able to get 2 out if you're lucky. Bailey's come across the line now, and I don't know what's happening with him. He's about a second off his delta here, so I think maybe he's just gone for a lap and he's not had much luck with it. It's tapping the wall there. It shows how dangerous this track can be when you get too close. Right. Now Riordan is actually up on his time by about half a tenth, just over. And it seems to be a pretty clean lap so far to his delta. Let's see if he can improve any more in the second sector. The chicane has been catching a lot of people out so far as he comes around it. Takes it very cautiously, doesn't really attempt to aggravate the apex on the left-hander, as we all know, as he knows that can be an issue when it comes to invalidating, how he did on his last lap going deep in the initial right-hander. But he's coming around now into sector 3. He looks to be improving. Let's see how he does it as he goes down the long straight into the dreaded final chicane. He's got no traffic to worry about. Easy on his own, and he's gone back into the pits, so he hasn't improved, or he hasn't improved enough that it's worth wasting that time on his in-lap. So my expectation is that he's come in getting ready to put on a new fresher set of softs and get on with a final lap instead of that one. Anyone else out on a lap now? We've got Draper, who was up on his time, but is unfortunately invalidated on that apex there, taking a little bit too much. Leon not improving. Again, is he starting a lap now? He is. So we'll stick with Leon for a minute. Oh, I thought that was a really nice apex, but it wasn't. He's taken a little bit too much, and he's paid the price by having to swing the car out for the left-hander, and he's just lost the rear there. Too much grip on the front end, pulling the car around, and there goes the rear. And that is that lap done. And he'd be lucky if he can get to the pits in time, get out, and then get to the line within the 3:35. Something that Riordan will not have issue after sensibly restricting himself and saving himself for the last lap. Ash 3/10 down on his time, well, up on his time, sorry. But it won't put him too far up, so he's gonna have to find a bit more time to get anywhere in contention with the top 10, because at the moment he's still only finding himself in the bottom half of the bracket. Takes the apex there in second gear, gets it all the way up to third, then slaps the gears up as he comes down the long straight. Now, if he comes in the pits now, he might have time to get another lap in. But if he is up on his time, he's going to want to improve, and he does try to. Gets a nice apex, carries a decent amount of speed there compared to what we've seen for Ash J. It takes him from P13 to P3. So he must have found a lot of time in that last sector there, because he was only 3/10 up from his initial lap, which would have only put him in the stead of Zenon and Polish Man at P11 and P12. But after that, he's jumped to a fantastic lap with a 111 flat there. So, not breaking into the 10s, as there is 2 to do it. And Indian G is on his outlap, who's about to start it. So I think we'll stick with him as he's about to go for it. He looks to be one of the favourites so far, after setting such a good lap so early, and then having Fandango just about get close to him on his second lap. Nice and careful there, making sure not to invalidate before you start the lap, because that is very annoying and very easy to do, unfortunately. Nice apex there. Tries to keep it nice and narrow to the apex on turn 2. Does it pretty well, breaking between the 150. Very nice apex. Awesome exit until he gets a bit of a snap. Gets a bit of a snap, has to auto-correct it. And he's just had to hit the wall when swinging the car back around, and that's going to lose him time. But as he got damage, no visual damage from our end. I can see he's got the end plates, but I know you can get damage without having the commentators and spectators seeing it. So let's see how he's doing. I didn't get to see the sector split time because I had a pop-up on my screen, but he's about equal to his time. He's almost a tenth down though, so it's not looking too good. Fandango's retired. Wow. That is a big upset for Fandango. Looks like he had the chance to go for pole at the moment. Deluxy on his lap now as well, so we'll hop to him once we get done with Indian G. It's absolutely fantastic apexes there from the Mercedes driver. Keeps it to the right, narrow as can be, and he takes 2/10 off his time after being nearly a 10th down in the second sector. So that is a fantastic final one. Brilliant lap from him. Is Deluxy going to come back? No, he can't. He's invalidated. So that is him done for the session. P3 is going to be the pinnacle if no one can jump him. Indian G is looking in very good stead. I'm not sure if there's anyone going to be able to challenge that after Fandango being out and Deluxy invalidated his last lap. We've got a Ferrari there, slowing ever so much in the chicane. I don't think it's going to be an issue though, but it's going to be a distraction for the likes of Digweed. We've got Bailey as well, 2.5 tenths. So he's looking close to getting into the 10s, but he's going to have to find a lot of time to even get near Indian G, who is halfway down that indice. Digweed looking okay though. I think he's going to improve. We'll see how he does as he comes from the last chicane. Nothing to lose now, a lot to gain. Now you can just see the difference in Indian G and Digweed's exit there. A lot more cautious, keeping the car. But to be fair, there's nothing wrong with caution when you know what it can grant you. Goes P4 after knocking 3/10 off his previous lap, so that is a very good effort there. Zimbaby not improving. Zimbaby is Bailey, so not improving there. 111.3, or if he did improve, I'm not too sure. He's only got him to P6 at the top, but he's already been pushed down by Leon into P7. Reorder now coming across, and he's invalidated, so backing out of that lap where he could have maybe gained a little bit of extra time has not turned out well after he's not taken the chance of the last lap as he wishes he would. But that'll be it for the session. Indian Jesus takes pole, Fandango P3, and Deluxy to round off the top 3. Digweed taking a nice P4 after taking a very cautious last chicane to get the car across, and I think he's done well to get it there. Had a bit of unfortunate luck in the last round in the first corner of Japan, so I'm sure he's looking to rewrite that and get some good points today after an unfortunate race. Yeah, it's looking good. I think hopefully it's a dry race. If there is going to be rain, I hope it's interchangeable and in the second stint, because I don't want to worry about having to think, is this rain going to stay here for the whole race, because I'm a bit knackered as it is, and if it is the whole race, I'm going to be done. Right. Ash J taking P5, exactly 6/10 off the pole time. The gap's grow a little bit. They're not too even across the board as we would usually see, but it is looking interesting between the top three. Indian Jesus taking it by over 2/10, and then Fandango and Deluxey close behind. Digweed lacking a little bit behind the top three, but I'm sure he'll be able to improve it on race pace. And then we got Ash J, Leon, Zimbaby taking I was going to say P10, then P7 is Bailey, P8 for the Greek Bell, his first race, I think, in this tier. And then we'll have the rest then, which I'll go through once we get into the thing. I just ran out of time there, unfortunately. Right, let's just check the stream, make sure everything's okay. So I'm going to mute a sec while I check the audio. So give me 2 seconds, guys. Ah, I see. Right, it's wet. Wet the old way. I recently myself did a wet Canada in a team event, and it was strugglesome. It was hard. So I don't wish it upon these guys at all. I hope they can get a bit of dry running in today. It might actually explain some of the difference in lap times. Maybe some people have been going for wet setups, well, into setups to keep the car a bit more stable. Just waiting for everyone to pick the strategies, sort out their front wing angles, get on with the fuel, which will be interesting with the weather at the moment. Well, what we see is the weather. I don't know if it's going to be staying like this the whole way. I hope not, as I've expressed multiple times. Let's have a look at the chat. Wet race, says Nathan. Good evening, Nathan. Hello. Forza Cone from Dragon. The Will and Rezhar saying hello. Nice to see you all here. Indian Jesus said to me he was very, very confident about tonight. Okay, so exclusive from Nathan. Indian Jesus is very confident today, so I expect he's put in a bit of prep for the Canadian GP today. So no pressure. Leslie said I'm way too tired for this. Yeah, me too, mate. On my own again today. I'm sure you would have noticed by now, as I'm the only one that said anything, but yeah, it's going to be tough for everyone. So, anyways, we went through the top 8, going from Greek Bill, well, down to Greek Bill from Indian Jesus. Rounding out the top 10 was Draper and Riordan. Riordan, after invalidating his penultimate lap, decided to go in the pits early to set a final one, but did eventually invalidate that also. Indian Zen in there, P11 to start the top of the bottom bracket. Nacho P12, Polishman P13, Gautier Le Filon P14, Jay Hartnell P15, Victor Mean, Lesty, Wild Dog in P18. Nice to see him racing. Fine. Hopefully he doesn't check in a barrier today, not just for himself but for myself selfishly as a Williams driver. Trunders in P19 after serving his quali ban, and then Rosa Sky reserving for IRT Connects, who couldn't race today, pulled out late. So I don't know why he unset a lap, or if he did, I don't know, maybe he crashed out. Nacho there, coming to say hello to his teammate by the looks of it. Maybe they're trying to discuss race plans as late as possible, but he's overtaking people. I'm not too sure if that's in the rules of Cone where you whether you should overtake again on the safety car formation lap if you've made a mistake, but you do you. So I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be on the Inters, but we'll double check just in case. Yes. A lot of eyes on the info screen. I'm just really hoping Nacho isn't going to overtake someone while they're weaving and cause a bit of havoc. What are you doing, mate? Stop overtaking! Christ. That was close. Zimbaby and I believe it was Ashjay nearly getting disqualified because of Nacho's impatience there. I'm not sure if that'll be chucked in the steward's eye. I'm not particularly sure if that's in the CRL rule book about overtaking under the formation lap after spinning, but I know it is in some other leagues, so that'll be interesting. Jay Hartnell first to get disqualified on the grid spots. Wild Dog also But I think apart from that, everyone's looking good, apart from Rose Sky, of course. The third and final to DSQ. Hopefully no one does in the race. But the lights are going out now. Nice angle there from NEG, is looking to cover off anyone and get onto that racing line. And it looks to be okay, but the AlphaTauri has got a good run. Oh, and look at the Haas! Deluxey getting a mega run on the rest of the guys. Bit of contact in the back is an Alfa Romeo going round. If we can try and get to some of that carnage. That guy Draper taking a massive position loss in the first corner, and a Mercedes putting an Alpine in the wall, and Zenon's been crashed out in the carnage of it all. Bars. Oh! Young's in the wall. I don't know why I shouted that loud. Just kind of felt like it. And VST already. Zenon's out. That's a bit mad. Wild Dog not gaining any position so far. No, I think Victor Mean might have dropped down a few. Yeah, he did 3. And by the way, Deluxey, what a fantastic start. Jumping from P3 in the wet conditions with such a little, a short straight. Let's remember that. You managed to get that much of a jump on such a short bit of track and still managed to stay ahead going into the last lap. Oh, God, I got hiccups. Sorry, guys. And a bad throw as well, so yay. Fandango dropping 2 as well. Digweed dropping 1. I think he was involved in the collision with a Mercedes at some point. Fandango spun it! We're back into racing conditions, and that's why. He spun it in the last corner. This has been a bit of an hectic ride so far, and we're only 2 laps in. One racing lap hasn't even commenced yet. Zim Baby jumping up 2 spots to go to P5. Wow, this is a bit mental. Zenon's left the session in anger, I expect. It's never fun to be crashed out so early in a race, but at least he hasn't wasted any time for it to happen late on. Deluxey looking to run away so far with a 1.5 second delta to Indian Jesus. Ash J slightly pulling back into that 1 second, but it's not going to matter at the moment with the wet conditions. The FIA are not going to be enabling DRS for the foreseeable, well, I'm trying to say foreseeable then, but I couldn't say it, for the foreseeable future. So, well, I hope so. I hope it starts to dry up at some point. The rain's really light, so it's not looking to be too chaotic with a race, but the top 5 have really pulled away now. Massive gap after all the carnage and the VSC. We saw Fandango getting very unlucky. I don't know if he was unlucky actually. It might have been just an error from him, but in the last chicane looked to have spun the car. Good luck, Merck, says Ferg in the comments. Who will meet Barry R? Oh, yeah, get it, Barrier. Zenon. There you go. There's your answer. It was the NPC GG, says Kevin DeWill. Yeah. Not sure if it was on his own accord. I think there might have been a bit of carnage that led to it. We've got some people pitting now. Fandango must have damaged the wing. No damage to the wing. Is that a drive-through for Victor Mean? No, it's just a 5 seconds for collision. So that's interesting. I'm wondering why Danny pitted there. He didn't replace any front wing, but maybe he adjusted his front wing. Oh, Rosa Sky, what's going on there? Dropping a few positions down to P14 for the McLaren. He does look to have wing damage. He's got no end plate on the right hand side, does on the left. So going to be a very unbalanced car from now on. As he seems to be struggling. Yeah, keep taking a bit of a corner cut there. Extending the track as he has to because of the damage. But yeah, apart from that, top 5 looking to be in full stead at the moment with a big gap. Digweed P4 holding it, which is good to see for the Alpine. Ash J looking good as well. How many positions did he gain? He gained 2 off the start, so he's looking to be holding a good race so far. My trawl's doing, I don't know why. Wild Dog getting Wild Dog getting overtaken by Rosa Sky, who was jumping into the pit, so that's why the delta's changed a bit. So Wild Dog was ahead initially. Wing change as we expected for Rosa Sky in the McLaren. Yeah, not too much going on now. We've just got to wait for someone to catch up, and it can take a while because the rain does even out everyone quite a bit sometimes when it comes to general performance. So we might be waiting a little bit until we see some movement between the positions. Purple sector there for Indian Jesus. He is catching. I don't even know if I can say he's catching. He's sitting to a similar delta as Deluxey, but I mean at the moment on the straights he's losing quite a lot. Quite a lot indeed. 2/3 nearly there. It did start to level out down the end of the straight, so maybe it was a bit more of a battery move than an aero job. But Bailey there cutting a bit of the apex. I wonder if that was a warning for the Zim baby. But looks to be holding similar pace to Digweed at the moment. Also similar to Ashjay. So podium is still completely open now for these front few at the moment. P6 and downwards is looking quite the gap to the front runners. But I do expect it'll change when a safety car is pulled out for the eventual DNF of someone. Tricky conditions, no discredit to the drivers of tier 3. It happens in every tier around Canada with tricky conditions like this, and there's a prime example of it. Thank you, Lesty, for backing my point there. Just how tricky it is to just lose the rear end, even if you think you clear the traction zones, or if you're just going around a quick bend that isn't even a braking zone. It's so simple for the car to step out when you're trying your best to run a low downforce setup to make yourself competitive on those straights. Yeah, I mean the deltas are just balancing out now. It's looking like a pretty simple race at the moment. Will Simple has joined. Hello, Will. I think he might have got an accidental invite from the host, as he's probably still in tier 3. So I expect he's just here to spectate. Rain's still coming down a bit. It's really not much though. I'm hoping that it'll come, just fall away soon and we can get into a dry track. Because that... Ooh, Draper's in the pits. Has he found himself in some damage? He has. Doesn't look like it on our end. The end plates are there on his old wing, but maybe it was a winglet that was off on one of the sides that we couldn't see. So a lot of time lost for a pit stop there for Draper, who already had a pretty annoying start. And Wild Dog, he's in the wall. He's lost it round the right hand bend there between the two chicanes, and he's lucky he's ghosted because of his teammate Polish Man there. Why is Polish Man stopped? Oh, was that called out a safety car? It has. Wow. What are you doing, Wild Dog? Why are you on the grass still? Okay. Well, safety car. So that gap that I was on about from P5 to P6 has been cut down to null, which is what we expected, to be fair. So it just gives everyone a bit of a chance to pull back up now and sort themselves out and get on with the race, and hopefully pull back after some mistakes in the front. Some of these guys wouldn't have even made mistakes, but it's just so hard in these conditions to get past when there's cars ahead, even if you've got the pace on them, because of the lack of DRS and the lack of places to overtake around here when you're all on equal performance. Wing change there for the Greek Bell. Wild Dog will be coming in obviously after schmacking his win on Barry R, as DeWill would call it. Not much else going on now. Draper getting a bit of a second break after having to pit for wing damage the lap before, so he's luckily got himself back up into a racing state to be able to go against his competitors now, rather than having to wait for a safety car later in the period. But at the moment, top five. I mean, I'm interested to see if they can pull away again, or if some of the guys behind like Riordan and Gauthier can hold a bit more pace to them, because it did look like the pace was consistent to the top 5, but I think the gap had just already been made beforehand with all the carnage, so it was hard to cut it down. So we'll see what happens. Right. Still waiting on a few to catch up. The bottom half of the bracket. Looking quite far away, especially that the Williams and the Alpha Tauri. Fandango finding himself down in P18 after such an honourable start after qualifying so high. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself with a mistake that he made in this chicane that he's currently going forward to. I'm sure he can get a few positions off this start and try and make amends for his initial mistakes. Victor Mean pitting now to replace a wing. I think the Alfa Romeo garage will be running short now. If I was playing F1 Manager, I'd get an email saying I need urgent manufacturing, as some of these guys' teams will at the moment with how the race has been going so far. So hopefully we can get to a nicer start than we have had in the first period of the race for when the safety car comes in. Don't expect it'll be in this lap with the amount of gaps there is, and it'll be the first lap where the safety car has held the top driver throughout the whole lap, so we'll get another lap of calm before the storm, and then we'll be getting going for the second period of the race. Only 3 now to catch up. Sorry for the lack of commentary. Just using this safety car as a little break for myself. Got quite the headache and struggling to balance myself. So, well, just gonna have a break a sec while we wait for this to come around, and we get to the last corner, and I'll pick up the pace a bit. Right, okay, I expect we'll be going in this lap, and we are. What on earth is that gap? What's going on here? Oh my god, absolute chaos for me to come back to. What on earth is happening with the bottom bunch? They've luckily caught up. I mean, I have to say it luckily, because Deluxe's had a very late restart, so they will be thanking him. But he's now gone, and would you look at that ash right on the back of Vinny Jesus. Just to let you know, I have opened my window because I'm sorry guys, it's just way too hot today for me to be having the window shut. So sorry if you hear a bit of motors around the back, but chaotic this so far. Trunder's getting a move on Nasty into P8. Top 5 seem to be saying the same. Riordan. Oh, Bailey with a big moment there. We just caught the last end of it. This is a curve that has been people have been taking for granted at the moment. A lot of people getting issue with it. Luckily for Bailey though, he keeps it out of the wall, unlike some of his competitors. Draper and Leon taking side to side for a split second until we get onto him, and Draper takes the position, I believe. I'm really confused to what was going on in that last pack of the bunch when the safety car restart was happening. Zim Baby making the move on Ash J. Oh no. Ash J's lost it on the throttle, and he stuck it into a wall after getting collected by the straight running Zin Baby. So Bailey's taken P4. I think he would have taken it cleanly anyway, but the traction was unfortunate for Ash J, and he's lost the car a bit. That's going to check him right down the order, having to pit again for the wing change. Now let's have a look at tyres quickly. Now this was something that I found interesting. We've got a lot of people on 10 lap old inters because obviously they didn't have to stop. We've got some people on fresher tyres, but for everyone in the competitive range of P8 and upwards look to be on the same tyres, so not likely that we're going to see anyone crawl through the grid on fresher tyres, except for Draper. Draper maybe has a chance. Also Greek Bill having half the tyre life on their rubber, which will be interesting to see how they fare later on in the race. But I think we will have to have another stop at some point anyway, because I don't think the rubber can get around here in one piece in a no stop. Indian Jesus and Deluxe has absolutely gapped the rest of them. Not too sure what's happened there. Unless I've just completely missed it myself. And Polish man getting a spin there out of the middle chicane between the straights. Yeah, I must have missed that. I didn't see the gap building. But it definitely is building so far. Bailey still holding onto the back of Digweed. But Indian Jesus and Deluxe look to be running away with it at the moment. Similar to how we saw the 6-second gap form. I wonder if they can hold this all the way to the end of the race now. For their sake, I'm sure they'll be hoping that no more city cars can interrupt their pace advantage. They can get on with it and not get their performance cut. But yeah, apart from that, gap's starting to balance out. We've got Jay Hartnell close to the back of the Alfa Romeo, and the Alfa Romeo very close to the Haas, because the Haas had an issue going through the chicane and takes a 3-second penalty because of it with track extension and corner cutting, and he's going very slow at the moment, and the Alfa Romeo is not going to like it. But like I said, it's a hard place to overtake around the streets of Canada, and he's going to have to stay back until the main straight or whenever he can get the run on him. But it's going to be a tricky task for the Alfa Romeo. Riordan holding good pace 2, 3 and 4 now. So looking decent. Yeah, the gap's just how it is in the Inters. But as you can see, Alfa Romeo overtaking the Haas without ease on the straight. I wonder if Leslie's incurred any damage. I don't think he has. He seems to be carrying on without pitting. Ooh, he's getting a bit of a snap there. Maybe an oversteery setup for the Brit. I'm not too sure. We'll have to see how that plays out for the rest of the race. Gap seeming to balance out now from Indian Juice and P2 to P3 and Digweed, but Deluxey again showing strength in his pace, keeping Indian Juice at arm's length for now. Still got plenty of time in this race for anything to switch up, as we've already seen that from the start. But at the moment, everything starting to level out. Jay Hartnell pretty close to Leslie. Obviously, we saw Leslie having some issues with his Haas car when it comes to Draper, but Jay Hartnell just close behind, looking to conquer on the issues himself. Greekville not too far behind, and neither Rosa Sky. Only goes down to Leon there, where they are at a bit of a gap. Ash J getting a penalty, and look how close they're getting, close enough to get contact, as the Haas is really struggling to get around the corners. Not much low speed grip at all, which is weird. He's not got much high speed on the straights either, where you think he would excel in if he's got a low downforce car, which is struggling to get out of the corners. But very cautious for the Haas driver. Not too sure what's going on there. Riordan, Gautier, Trunders very close to each other now. Baby, I can't call him Baby. Zin Baby, Bailey. Bailey's got a gap to Riordan now, who has Gautier fell on Trunders and Draper behind him, as I've just said. Digweed holding the pace of the front two, but the gap's already there, big enough for it not to grant him a challenge in the top two at the moment. And Dingy just holding pace to Deluxey, so it's not like Deluxey's running away with it. So that's definitely gonna switch up at some point, I reckon. Indian Jesus, we've been told, is very confident with his pace today, and he's holding very well, but I'm sure there's a little bit more in the tank. Setups are massive impact when it comes to wet weather races, because you can go for the low pressures and get the initial grip on the tyres for a good start, but the wear can really be a factor when it comes to Inters racing. The higher the pressures, the less wear you're going to get, and the longer you can go at a good pace. So we'll see if that does have any effect on this race when these two get on with it for a bit longer. Digweed still keeping similar gaps, so he's not off pace. Just unfortunate to create that gap in the first place. Lesty, Jay Hartnell making moves there. Jay Hartnell not getting past though. I believe it was Trunders that got past Lesty actually, with Lesty being the head of the train of these at the moment. Gautier Lefellon getting overtaken by Draper, so Draper looking to catch back up to Riordan a little bit. He is on the fresher tyres, quite fresher, so if we do see a drop off for the Inters, which I expect we will, Draper's not going to be the one to see it first, so a bit of performance yet to come for his tyres, I expect. Well, I say that, a bit of lack of performance from the guys ahead would rather fit the bill nicely. See, a lot of penalties. It's always an issue when it comes to China. I was going to say China. China was released today, but we are racing in Canada. But yeah, even in the dry, penalties are such a pain in the arse around here because of how narrow the track is and how close the walls are. But in the wet, even though the cars are a bit slower, there's a loss of control when it comes to pushing that little bit too hard. That can cause the warnings, and you can still see that there's plenty of places to get them, and they've been got because there's a few people with 3 seconds on the go already. But the top 5 are looking clean of penalties at the moment. I expect there'll be a few warnings between the 5 drivers that are lingering in their minds, especially when we've got half the race still yet to go. Digweed dropped off massively a bit there on that lap. It's gone from about 3.5 seconds of delta to a full 5 at the moment, so he's even out of a penalty range for most of the way we steward incidents, if there was to be any, between the top 2. So he's really going to have to push now to get back into a bit of range between these drivers, but at the moment he's not looking to gain any time. Obviously these two aren't really battling, they're a good delta between each other, 1.3 seconds. They're far enough away that they're not causing any issue to each other's pace, so they're basically free to roam. Rosa Sky getting an overtake on the Greek Bill. Greek Bill getting eyed up by the AlphaTauri also. AlphaTauri looks to be going for it. He's got enough speed to not worry about going side by side into the World Champion chicane, and absolutely clears him before he gets there. So decent move for him. He's broke a bit late, but he's managed to make the apexes somehow. Greek Bill coming to the pit, so maybe a bit of damage on his end. Digweed dropping a bit more time now, nearly 6 seconds, so a bit of pace drop off from him there. Bailey Fox isn't managing to hold up to Digweed too closely. He's holding pace with Digweed, but it's not looking good when it comes to the top 2 spots. Let's have a look in the chat. I don't believe there's too much going on at the moment. Oh, there is. We got Lesty and Jay Hartnell going between each other, and the first of the 5 we were just talking about it. Zimbaby takes the first penalty of the top contenders for first place. First of many, I reckon. I don't think he's going to be the last, that's for sure. Yep, and to back up the statement, there's another one. It might be at the other end of the grid. Oh, it's not raining! It's not raining because Victor Means checked on a set of dries, medium tyres. So while I've been blabbering on, I've not even had the initiative to see if it's raining or not. It is dry, so... Well, it's not dry, but it has stopped raining. The track is very greasy at the moment, and the Indians will be able to roll on for a little bit longer, but it is going to dry up eventually, with the cars all taking the racing line and forming that little strip of track where you can keep it on the tyre delta for the slicks. but it's all about who bites the bullet first and who bites it too early or too late, because it's a fine margin with the pit stop time to get onto the right tyres. Gaps can be won and gaps can be made by changing the conditions, and it's still looking a bit slippy out there. There's not any kick off the tyres of water. It's not really spraying anything, so it could almost be time to get in. The track isn't looking to be puddly. It is looking to be a bit damp, and we can see here the top two not thinking it's dry enough yet for the Inters, which doesn't really surprise me. Digweed staying out for P3. Is Baby going to take a risk? No, he doesn't. Stays out also while he's in P4. P5 and P6 also doing so. But I do think in a lap or two it will be time to get onto the dry tyres. Mediums will be the tyres you want to be on. We'll keep an eye on Victor Mean, because he's got 5 seconds off to Ashjay. Ashjay was holding good pace, so we can use that to compare between the top 5's pace. Victor Mean is actually gaining a little bit, you know. It's marginal, but he is gaining and managing to keep the mediums on track. He's going a bit slow. And there are people pitting now. Mediums and hards across the board. Hards I'm surprised with. I definitely expect mediums to be able to hold out on these first few laps. But let's see how these dry runners do and see if they can gain any time at all to the Inters runners, who are taking a delayed strategy when it comes to switching the compounds. Beautiful Ferrari, by the way. I absolutely love this design. I wish they'd keep it. Maybe not the yellow on the engine cover, but the rest of it I'd love to stay. 11.3 from Gautier to Lesty, and we can see the top runners pitting. Oh wow, Digweed stays out. Bailey not making the same decision. He goes in. And is Bailey going to make a massive jump on Digweed now, or is he going to lose out even more? But at the moment, with how the track's looking, I think Digweed's made a major mistake there of not coming in with the competitor ahead. He had enough of a gap behind him to the majority of drivers that even if he did go in one lap too early, as long as he's with the guys in the front, he can still keep the delta. But I think in his mind he was looking to do something different to try and cut that gap. But I don't necessarily think that's what's going to happen now. He's gone purple apparently in Sector 1. So he's definitely pushing. And I'll tell you what. Maybe Digweed's made the right decision. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I am, to be honest. I think Digweed has nailed it. Because look at the... I say that though. Oh! I think Digweed might have just been blessed. Digweed has got a bloody virtual safety car to get into the pits now. I was going to say Digweed's made the right choice, but I wasn't too sure, because obviously something I forgot in my idea of going off early was that these mediums are going to be cold out the box. So Digweed would have had to face that issue also, but he's not now. Because he's got it under VSC, so he might have a chance to get them cooked before it makes issue. Now he's not going to come out ahead of Deluxe and Energies, but I'm sure that gap would have been chopped a little bit. Drive-through for Fandango. His day's gone from good to bad to worse. Down in P8, he's going to chuck him down to P20 now. Well, P19, can't go P20. That'd be a hell of a task considering P20's in a barrier. Yeah, look at the time Digweed has chopped off. Massive, massive amount. And Bailey's paid the price for doing the same as the front. Digweed took a bit of initiative and he's absolutely nailed it. You could say he got a bit lucky with the VSC timing and stopping the guys later in the lap of making that gap not fall too much. Lesty's out. What happened there? Lesty's retired in the pits, okay. Did say he's a bit too tired for this in the commentary. The comments of the stream. So premature retirement there. I'm not too sure if that was due to car issue, damaged wing or position, but seems to be looking okay. But yeah, anyway, with Digweed, I think even without the VSC, he would have done well. The delta was definitely rising, and he was gaining time on the Inter, so I think he chose the right time, and I was wrong. which is lovely to see. Lovely to see the drivers getting it right, rather than me having to correct something that I think I know best in, but I don't. He's absolutely nailed it. Got a massive advantage now back from Bailey after being 6 seconds away from the top two. He's now only 3 seconds. Oh, but he's got rid of that 3 seconds he's cut because he's just got a penalty. Oh, bloody hell. What a shame. Deluxe's got one. When did that happen? It's a 5. Deluxe sped into the bloody pit lane. Oh, Christ. How did I miss that? And Indian Jesus is right on his back as well. And he's not really going to be pushed to make the overtake. But he's going to go for it anyway. DRS is enabled. He's right on the back of him. That's massive. I didn't realise that. Sorry, guys. Digweed, after getting his 3-second penalty, urged me to take a look at the rest of the grid. And Deluxe, with the black and white box, has got a 5-second for speed in the pit lane, I expect. Oh, and that is massive. Indian Jesus takes a 3 seconds. So that 5 seconds is now slashed to a 2-second penalty between these two. He's not going to have to worry about Digweed or Bailey because they're both on 3 seconds also and a bit too far out for it to matter. But Indian Jesus is still within that 2 seconds range now, which is massive. Let's get the tyre deltas off. Who's on hards, by the way? Rosa Sky, the only one on hards. Very interesting strategy. I would have expected the mediums to get all the way. But this has really spiced it up now because I mean, Deluxe was shown that he had the pace to stay ahead and out of a DRS range, but that was on Inters. He might have been on a bit of a safer setup than Indian Jesus. And it looks like Indian Jesus is all over him like a rash in this second portion of the race on the dry tyres. Digweed holding the delta pretty nicely. You can see him now, which is nice to see. When he was a bit further back before the change in compounds, he was quite far out. But he's got a bit of DRS to help his cause here, I think. He hasn't. I thought he would have got it from the last car, but he doesn't. And there we go. We've missed it by a margin, but Indian Jesus goes ahead, and that is with a 3-second penalty. So, although we might only be 6/10 ahead on our deltas, he's 2.5 in his mind, and he's going to have to try and keep ahead. He doesn't even have to try and keep ahead. He can just stick behind, and as long as they're at a larger pace than Digweed, he can just coast behind him and stay at Deluxe's pace. But Deluxe's cut the corner there. I guarantee you that was a warning. If he got away with that, then he'd be lucky. But Digweed hasn't. He's got another one. That is 6 seconds of penalties to Digweed. Indian Jesus is spun. Indian Jesus is bloody spun. That's crazy. Deluxe's now, the emotion's gone up and down between the two of them. They're swapping smiles and swapping anger because Digweed has gone up to P2. Deluxe now not having to worry about anyone behind at the moment. Digweed has got more penalties than him, so that is a 4-second gap under penalties for Deluxe to not worry about. Oh, what's happened there? I wonder if there was contact or if it was just on his own. I doubt it was contact. It's not in a place where you'd expect the move to be made going through that corner, and if it was, it would have been a very challenging one for sure. Zimbaby is getting quite close and he's derating. The Mercedes driver is derating, so Zimbaby's going to see that flashing light like Christmas as he's got a bit of battery spare to try and catch up and get in the DRS range of Indian Jesus. They're all on mediums at the top, so tyre performance isn't going to be too much of a question between the four of them, as it is going to be pretty equal as long as their tyre pressures are similar. Obviously, if one of them has gone lower pressures for the initial grip in the wet weather, then they're going to see a lack of performance later on in the stint from the tyres with the extra wear that it grants because of that. But at the moment, everyone's seeming to be on early premature life of the medium, so I don't think that will be an issue. But Digweed is catching a little bit onto the Haas of Deluxe, but Deluxe's got him in penalties, so it's a battle for track position now at the moment. Indian Jesus, I expect, will start to catch up with Digweed a little bit. His pace did seem to show that the top two were a bit clear of the P3 and 4, but it's going to be hard. Digweed's going to be in a good mind now, knowing that he can keep his P2 if he keeps a good gap to Indian Jesus. It will be a 3-second difference in penalties between Digweed and Indian Jesus. Digweed having 6, Indian Jesus having 3. Indian Jesus is not happy though. You can see he's angry. He's pushing the car to get into the range and get closer to the top 2 again. But that is a big mistake. Let's get the position change off there. We don't need that. Wow, well, my voice is starting to go. This has been a bit mad, and it's kicked me up and got me a bit, giving me a bit of energy. Oh no, is that Bailey? Oh, Bailey spun. Bailey spun. Bailey's had a spin at the same corner as Indian Jesus, and this portion of the track has caught out everyone. I think it's the only place where we've seen major incidents, and that is dropped Zimbabwe down to P6. Riordan gets a 3-second penalty. What on earth? How many does everyone have? And it's only 2 drivers out of the 19 to not have a penalty, and it's Greek Bill and MFC Trunders. It's getting ever so close to more. Well, we've seen 6 seconds already. We can't say that we're going to soon see them. There's about 4 or 5 drivers already on it. Jay Hartnell going very deep for the Red Bull there. Indian Jesus again picking up the pace compared to the 2 ahead, trying to make amends to a mistake prior. No, prior's after, isn't it? Right, anyway, never mind. Grammar doesn't matter at the moment because Rosa Sky's making a move on Jay Hartnell in the Red Bull. I'm sure Leon will be looking to do the same soon with the Red Bull derating. Well, the both of them derating. I wonder if Leon has got a bit more battery to make moves. We will see later on in the race. Oh, Draper, who is jumped up to P4 after the 2 spins, after the 1 spin. Indian Jesus has stayed ahead. After the 1 spin, is caught up to 9 seconds of penalties. That is 3 individual track limit penalties after cutting the track 9 times. So that's really not going to put him in good stead when there are drivers close behind. Leon is out. He's lost it on the exit of the tricky right-hander, and that has pulled out a safety car. Bailey's a bit lucky here because he's getting his chance to come back. 27 out of 35. Do you chuck softs on? You chuck softs on? Yeah, you do. You're going to be under the safety car. Oh, come on, drive through. Lift it up. You get softs on. You got to do it. You're going to be under the safety car for at least 2 laps. You can expect them to go 6, and Bailey jumps in the pits. Some people don't. Digweed and Deluxe might have missed the train. I don't know when the safety car came out and where these 2 were on the track, but they've missed the train, and it might be costly because Indian Jesus, with the lowest amount of pens, is granted his wish of coming back into this race with a late safety car, and he's got the absolute steaming tyres compared to the other 2. Old mediums compared to fresh softs is like, I was going to make an awful comparison then that wouldn't have been very family friendly, so I'll move on. Riordan staying out on the medium, same as Gautier, but Gautier's in a pickle now after getting a drive through. Trunder's mediums, Draper on, although he's on 9 seconds of penalty, he's on the soft, so he might be able to make up the time. Zimbabwe is, I tell you what, Zimbabwe is looking in a very good place because he's got a lot of mediums ahead. He'll be able to get past purely on the tyre delta, and he's not the only one, but he's one of few to still be on 3 seconds of penalties. Trunders, by the way, Trunders on no penalties, and he's up there. He's in the fight, but it depends how these mediums do. Deluxey in the pits. Digweed stays out. Oh, I wouldn't have done that, mate. I would have done that. This is the second time I've disagreed with Digweed's choice of the race, but he did have me on the first one I disagreed with and outdone me being correct. Is he correct on this one? We'll have to wait and see with the last 5 laps to play out. But I don't think so. I think he's going to be swamped. Duxie comes out in P8 by the looks of it on the fresh compound. It's just behind Zimbabwe, so that is another place that Bailey's going to struggle to keep, considering Deluxey. Oh, Deluxey served his 5 seconds. This is massive. Completely forgot about that. 5 seconds for Deluxey wasn't a track limit warning. It was for speed in the pit lane. So we all know that 5 seconds is servable in the pits. So he's got fresh rubber on, and he's got rid of all his penalties. He's not got a track limit one. So he is absolutely right up there. I mean, even behind the safety car, probably when we all get a bit bunched closer, technically he's probably bloody first. But it's going to be hard though, because although he's not got penalties, he's still going to have to push through a lot of the drivers ahead. And there's a few mediums that could slow him down. Same for the likes of Draper and Bailey. But the lack of penalties is a bit of a safeguard for even if that does happen, he's guaranteed to get a few more positions off of it. I don't think it's going to come in this lap, so we're going to get another lap of calm before the second storm. Bailey, I like that reference, by the way. Before the storm, he absolutely doesn't stop playing Life is Strange. He's addicted and it's an issue, and he needs to see help. But anyways, past that, it's looking good. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a bit hectic. Oh, God. I need to chill out. I need to take a breather a sec, boys. The real DC, Daniel Collier, says in the comments, Wild Dog hasn't DNF'd, absolute limbs. I know, he's not DNF'd and he's in a place of points. I tell you what, he might get tackled at parties, but he's looking to all his stance in this race. Hopefully he can gain a bit more with the penalties ahead. He's got 2 drivers ahead with 6 seconds that are near, even one with 9 seconds, which is going to be a likely challenge for Wild Dog, as long as he can keep pace with the guys ahead. Lefty put in the comments, I did miss it, I've had a heavy weekend abroad, no chance of points, so it's bed for me. Fair enough. Completely fair, to be fair. He's even in position, in points position, he's turning like Garcia or Latifi. We're cheering him to either crash or get a point, haha, says the Will. So, a lot of people rooting for Wild Dog at the moment, which is good to see. Hopefully, I swear to God, Wild Dog, if you crash now, I hope you're not watching the stream, I hope you watch this after, so I've not applied any unneeded pressure. Just don't do it, mate, please, for the sake of Williams. The Will said he won a race somewhere. I can't read the rest of it because we're about to get away, but well done to you. Oh! What? Think that was a glitch. Right. My throat's hurting, boys, but we've got away. Oh wow, this is going to be interesting. Oh, Fandango's out! What's happened? Oh, it's in the pits. What's going on, Rio? Oh, it's a lapped car. You need to get out of the way, pal. You might be fast in the softs, but you can't be inside other drivers when they're battling for the front. Digweed's still ahead, but Indian Genius is getting very close on them soft. Deluxey. No! Deluxey's got a 3 second. That's massive. Zim Baby getting up past Draper. Clearly ahead as well. Oh, Draper tries to go around the outside, but there's nowhere to do it. P6 for Bailey. Trunder's holding good time at the moment. He's technically in P4 after LeFellon has to serve a drive through. I say technically, he's going to be... Oh, what's happened to Deluxey? Draper and Deluxey looking to make contact, maybe. I'm not too sure. There's too much going on. What do I say? What do I look at? I don't know. Trunder's P5, looking to be P4 after LeFellon pits this lap. He doesn't. Why is he not doing it now? And he's got another penalty. He needs to... Oh! No! No! Oh! Oh my God. I can't take it. I can't take talking more shit under a safety car, boys. My throat's in hell and my head feels like it's in a fridge. Oh God. What happened there? What happened there? Was this slowing cars? I think there might have been slowing cars after Gautier full on cut the corner and had to slow on the apex to try and not get another warning, and I think it might have been a concertina effect. Either that or Bailey's dropped it. It'd be out of character for Bailey in the dry conditions, from what I know of him. But you never know. Gautier Fellon is in a pickle now because he can't serve his drive-through yet. If he had pitted that lap and Bailey had binned it, Gautier Fellon would still be in the race, but Gautier Fellon is guaranteed that he won't be able to make up positions after serving his penalty now. I don't know, I don't understand that. I don't know why you wouldn't get in the box and serve it as soon as possible when there's always risk of another safety car being pulled out. Digweed, though, although he's got 6 seconds of penalties, it's not like he was going to be able to pull a gap on the old mediums anyway. But this gives him a chance of there being chaos behind him to make a gap. But I don't think Indian Jesus and Riordan would make that an issue. I think they'd know the goal pretty simple, and it's to get past Digweed and then worry about their battle later. Trunders, this helps him majorly. He's on the old medium, same as Digweed. But the difference of the safety car is it helps him stay ahead. Gives less time for people to overtake him. Same with Digweed, I guess. But, I mean, Trunders is managing to... Trunders is more about penalties than pace, which is why having the less laps is going to be absolutely crucial. I swear to God, if Trunders holds good lap for these last 2 laps, he's genuinely a contender to win this. And it's going to be mad. And I hope for him the best on this restart. But he's got a lot of fast runners behind him that could slow him down when they go for the overtakes. Oh, God. I am drained, boys. Absolutely drained. No, don't do this to Trunders. Oh, they bollocksed him! What are they doing? Ah, Trunders has had a dream sold. Gautier Fellon's disqualified because he didn't serve his penalty in time. Trunders has got a 5 second. Oh, Christ. Digweed's still ahead at the moment for the last 2 laps. Big gaps behind him. Not much pressure. Well, I say that Indian Jesus on them soft tyres is making that gap ever so small in the corners. Oh, boys. What a hectic race. I wish I had someone to commentate this with me because I'm absolutely knackered and too much is going on for me to comprehend as a solo. Bloody hell. Right. Deluxe P5 on 3 seconds of penalties. It's looking like Indian Jesus is going to be the one to take the win at the moment, but I tell you what, big mistake from either Indian Jesus or just a lovely start there from Digweed going into the straight as he gains quite a bit of time from him. Don't think he's going to be able to hold it. There can't be any more upsets now, surely. You can't do it to me. Can't do it to them. Trunders, Deluxe going side by side. Ooh. Soft delta, lovely apex. I tell you what, oh my God, Deluxe spun. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, I mean, Trunder's still on for a P4, but that's about it after his unfortunate restart with the people messing around in front of him. I can't wait for stewards for this. Jesus Christ. I can wait. Well, I don't want to wait. I want to get it done with because there's going to be a lot. Indian Jesus is looking to be on top of the podium once again. Staying on the podium for 4 weeks in a row now. After Digweed getting too many penalties to be able to challenge in the later stages. Very unfortunate for him. He's driven a brilliant race. Same with Indian Riordan also. He's done very well. Takes it around. And although he's got a 3 second penalty, he will keep it as Trund is out of his 5 second range, even though he shouldn't have a 5 second penalty. Oh, Trunders, man. I'm so gutted for him. So gutted. It was a fun race for the majority, but there was a bit of things going on there that just a bit irresponsible and unnecessary. Smoggy, I'm guessing you are Trunders, and if it is, I really am apologetic to you. You've been robbed a bit there. You had a good chance of a brilliant race there, and yeah, that is tough. There you go. Well, Indian Jesus takes P1, Digweed P2, Riordan taking P3. The Greek Bill on his debut P4 from P8. Brilliant race for him. Trunders P5, Wild Dog getting P6. Lovely to see that from P18. Nacho P7, Jay Hartnell in P8, Ash J P9, Ecos Rosa Sky in P10, 11th for that guy Draper, and Deluxe to run at the points after a spin. And then there is your lowers down after a few being lapped, a few being DNF'd, and Gautier Lefebvre being disqualified because he didn't serve his drive-through in time. I'll get the incidents up. So we have we're going to need this at some point for stewarding. So I'm just going to get it all because there's a lot of 5 seconds and 3 seconds that were due to battling and in stupid safety car stuff. So just gives everyone a chance just in case they need to go onto the stream and find it if they forget to bring theirs. There we go. That is a very long incident list. Oh, guys, what a crazy one. I'm not going to do interviews today, boys. I'm on my own. I've got a bit of an headache and my voice is hurting. So we're going to leave it at that. Congratulations to the podium. Condolences to Trunders. I'm gutted for him. Really am. Wow. Well. Bit of a... I can't say anticlimactic because it was very chaotic. But very disappointing in some areas. But anyways, that is it. I'm going to finish up the stream there and finish up the race. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on Thursday for my race around here where Tier 2 and Tier 1 will be racing. Hopefully I can better myself after bottling the podium last week, killing night. But yeah, I'll be back with you next week for commentary also. So see you all later.